Morning, squatters. I hope everyone is super cool. I will start by saying on Saturday, we saw a group of Afrikaners marching to the US Embassy in Pretoria in South Africa, by the way, saying they are being victimized and they do not agree to the land expropriation bill and all of that. Now I want to get into this issue further because now it is becoming a concern, White South Africans have been comfortable for the longest time. It is a fact. During apartheid, for 300 years, these people have been enjoying a privilege of oppressing black people and creating laws which were unjustifiable and were dehumanizing black people. Now that the land grabbers, I call them land grabbers, people who gather there are land grabbers because those are the people who benefited through apartheid when white people dispossessed land which belonged to black people. When they came here, 1652, Jan van Riebeeck came to South Africa, and the whole thing of the Dutch East Colony and whatsoever. I'm not really good with the history back then, but now, since they claim that they are being victimized and the land is being taken away from them, why would you steal? And when someone who's the owner wants what belongs to them, and then you want to cry foul, you don't even want to share. You're not even ashamed to march. And then, my concern is that they want to create a mini America here. If they want to, I don't know, squatters, if they want to go to America, why don't they just go silently? So we don't want them to cause dramas. They are behaving like a Nicki Minaj's, the Casanovas of our country, because why would you cause a drama if you really want to leave? I saw them having placards saying, "Thank you, Donald Trump. We are ready. We are coming." Just leave. If you want to leave democratically, so you have a right to just pack your bags and leave here, so that we can remain here on our land and enjoy the freedom of owning land and having farms and all of that. We as black people in South Africa, we also want the same privilege. So why would we allow people? I don't understand the fact that why do they continue as much as they are only 7%, but they own more than 70% of the land in South Africa. And is that what they call democracy? Most of them, 80% of white Afrikaners who own land in South Africa, they didn't buy that land. They know they stole the land. Their great-grandfathers, their forefathers stole the land from our forefathers. And now they want to claim to be compensated. Why do you want to be compensated for something that you stole? I mean, it's something that you took by force from an African child, and now you don't want to share. You want to be compensated for that. There's no compensation, by the way. I want to take this moment to thank Julius Malema personally. If anyone would see Julius Malema wherever, at the rally or at the meetings or in the boardroom, tell Julius Malema that a squatter is really grateful for you to start this kind of discussions. Because remember, when Julius Malema started this kind of discussions, it was not fashionable by the way. When the EFF, let me say so, collectively so, Nabu Floyd Chivambo and Buyiseni Ndlozi and all of those people, when the EFF started this land issue and they pushed it in parliament, and I want to give credit to people like Abu Julius Malema for fighting for us, black South Africans, about the land issue, because we wouldn't be where we are now. ANC wouldn't be talking about the land issue now. They were too scared. You know why they were too scared? Is because during the CODESA negotiations, they sold us out and they took road deals. Abu Thabo Mbeki, they took road deals. And now, you'll be surprised, people like Abu Thabo Mbeki, they are quiet, but they were there in the CODESA. And the whole former president who's well educated, who's from overseas university, and then all. Sometimes I wonder, these people who are educated, what is it that they were learning, from wherever they were? Because now, when it comes to serious issues which are supposed to be addressed, they are quiet. They go quiet. I have a feeling that those are the beneficiaries of the CODESA selling out. That is why people like Abu Tabumbeki, Kalma Mutlante, all of them, they are quiet. And us, as the youth in South Africa, now we start to see that, listen, this thing is not going to work for us. Willing buyer, willing seller, people got rich, especially white South Africans, Afrikaners. They've got rich through that system, and we are not going to, the government will not pay a cent anymore for any land. And the land will be expropriated. That is one thing that is guaranteed. EFF will push for that. We've got Abu Andile Mngxitama from the MKP. He's on our side, by the way. We are ready. We are ready to, to challenge this issue. If white people feel uncomfortable about this issue, that is their baby. If they want to live God-ridden, let them live. As in yesterday, we don't actually live our lives through them being here, because even if when they are here, they continue to exploit black people. Black people are working at the farms. They murder black people and feed them to pigs and everything. And now Donald Trump continued to ignore that. And Donald Trump, by the way, called them. He said they can come so that they can stay in slums there in America. In America, there it's going to be really tough for them. By the way, let them try to go. And if they leave, they're not going to come back. They sold their citizenship. They must never come back. If they come back here, they will come back as guests. And when you are a guest, you get to be told what to do and when to do it and all of that. So I don't understand why would these Afrikaners gather at the embassy crying foul and want to cause a mini America. Here, this is South Africa. This is not America here. If they want to carry American flags, they must go to America there and protest, just like all the American citizens carry American flag and all of that. This one here is South Africa. They must carry South African flag because they are undermining the administration that is in China. And if Cyril Ramaphosa now is a test now, if he's bluffing about this land issue, then we've got a problem that we cannot trust him anymore. Then if he's not bluffing, he means what he says, he must implement it. That's it. It's non-negotiable. Now it's time for action now. There's no more time for negotiations. Let them continue to go to court, and we're not going to court. We're going to take action. We're going to take action to share the land. That's it. That's what should happen actually. We should not beat behind the bushes and try to be diplomatic. No. We've wasted a lot of time. 30 years is a lot of time. And we know that people like Abu Mandela, they sold out during the CODESA. They agreed to, raw deals because they were too scared of white people to say, hey, now we are just negotiating for us, not for them not to beat us up, not to abuse us, not to discriminate us or whatsoever. I don't know what kind of deals. That's why Comrade Krizani walked out of that nonsensical CODESA negotiation, because he said, I'm not going to be part of the selling out of this system. This is not what we agreed on. Abu Ramaphosa, they continued to sign. Even Thabo Mbeki was part of the negotiations, and Mandela also was part of the negotiations, and also other comrades who sold out. So why do we have to beg these comrades who sold out to say, listen, they should realize that the time is now. As we always say, Wuti, you can abuse people, you can violate their rights and do that, but when the revolution comes, you're not going to stand it. So black people will never back down. They want land. That's it. It's a fact. That one, they mustn't run away from it. They can't run away from it. It's either this white Afrikaner, they can just relocate to America peacefully, so we can even arrange a flight for them. If Donald Trump maybe is too busy to book flights for them, we can transport them, fly them over to America there, so they can prepare some slums there, so they can squatter there, have their own squatter camp there. There's no privilege like in South Africa. In South Africa, they've had so much privilege and they were so used to being treated special. Now the land is going to be expropriated, whether whoever likes it or not. Even if Cyril Ramaphosa makes a U-turn, political parties like EFF, like MKP, they should push that. That's my advice. They must just push this issue so that it happens. We need reparations, South Africa. It's been long overdue. We've been bullied. We've been abused. We've been exploited. That must happen. It's a fact. And sometimes when you become brutal with the reality, people feel like, no, you are an antagonist, you are an anarchist, you are... No. People who are comfortable, they will speak from their couches or tweet or do whatever. But the fact of the matter is that black people want land. They want land. They need the land for so many reasons. So it doesn't matter what we are going to do with the land. As long as we get the land, we share. And then no one should own a bigger chunk of land doing nothing with that land, unless if you're working the land, maybe we can just give you, a lease contract. You pay tax, you pay rent to the government. We rent your land to the government, so you pay rent. You should not, because they benefited, for so many years, and they should be fine now with surrendering part of their land, few hectares, and we need to share. You can't own hectares and hectares of land alone with your family. And while black people are pegged in Alexandra, in Diepsloot, in Tembisa, in Soweto, all over, straight up, pegged like sardines, and you own the land and you don't want to share. It's time for us to share, South Africa. And we know that our fellow comrades sold us. So now we are taking up the struggle ourselves. We are not scared. We are moving forward with this land expropriation bill. This must happen. It's a matter of fact. Whether anyone likes it or not, it's another case. But there's no more talks now. It should happen. If they want to relocate, anyone who wants to relocate, just relocate peacefully. Just relocate. Just go. No one will grab you and say, don't go, please. Just Saturday, they were there at the U.S. Embassy in Pretoria. They must just go. If they want to go to Donald Trump, they are dead. They must just go there silently. If they feel Ramaphosa is no longer their father now is Donald Trump, they must go peacefully. They must go peacefully. Those who want to stay will stay peacefully in peace and harmony. Maybe life will be better because those who are going to leave are those who don't want to share. Then God ridden, let them go. We remain with white people who are willing to share, who understands the struggle of black people, where we come from, the apartheid, 300 years of apartheid, we're being oppressed, and now the ANC came and sold us out during the CODESA negotiation. For 30 years, they've been doing nothing with this issue. This issue should have been a priority immediately when they got into government. But because our comrades were comfortable, they were stealing, they were busy with corruptions, all of them, by the way, all the presidents, talk about Mandela, I can just reserve him, may his soul rest in peace, because it was only one term. But you talk about Thabo Mbeki, you talk about Jacob Zuma, you talk about Cyril Ramaphosa. By the way, Cyril Ramaphosa, at least he's coming all right, because he did what other presidents couldn't do, to sign the expropriation bill. Thabo Mbeki couldn't do it. He didn't want anything to do with it. Jacob Zuma also didn't want anything to do it, because I remember at some point, Julius Malema said, ANC, you've got 2/3 majority plus EFF. Let us sign this expropriation bill. Jacob Zuma refused. He refused. He didn't have guts to sign that. So you can see who's a coward here. Who's a coward and who's willing to help. I think if Ramaphosa handles this issue up to where it reaches that point that now is becoming practical, he will be a better president than Jacob Zuma. Because Jacob Zuma had time. He couldn't do it. He couldn't make education free or whatsoever. He was too comfortable with his Guptas and getting his son with the Guptas to get more tenders and steal more money and all of this. So he was too busy with corruption. So let Ramaphosa proceed with this one. I can tell you now, I promise you now that we are going to be united. If you see black people on this issue of land, we must be united. Those who want to leave, God reading, let them just go. As in yesterday, even tomorrow we can book a flight, request and I don't understand why are they making issue with leaving, because Donald Trump has already signed the executive that they must just come. They mustn't ask questions. They should go to the U.S. consulate in Sandton there and get their visas approved. Quick. Then they can go. So we stay in peace here. We want peace in our country, and they shouldn't create a mini America. This is South Africa. We are here in South Africa as citizens, as people who want to fix our country and fix Africa as a whole. So this is a good start. Zimbabwe did it. We don't want to do it the Zimbabwe way, but it must be done. The land must be returned to its rightful owner. So people like Julius Malema should get a credit for this. People like Andile Mngxitama, who nearly got arrested and victimized because, you remember BLF, the AfriForum, said, this guy is an antagonist. We must arrest him. You can't shut him up. He's a black child who's very revolutionary. You can't shut Andile up. You can't silence him. He will speak his mind because we understand the struggle that we come from. Let's not promote inequality. Let's not do that. We can't have 7% of people owning 74% or 70-something% of land in our country as citizens. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense, and it must be fixed now or later. It better be now, because we don't want this issue to now push into a revolution situation whereby now it's more like this chaos. We need to do it orderly, and there must be some sort of cooperation. They must just cooperate. I mean, it's been long overdue. The land issue, I will not back down. I say black people must get the land. We must share with white people. We must share equally. We must share. No one must own a bigger chunk of land and roaming the streets with, no one. Why do you want, why are you being greedy? Why are you being greedy? You want to own everything, everywhere. We must work this land, all of us, equally so. So some other black people can start farming for their own, because they are working there at the farms, by the way. They've got skills. And the same white Afrikaners, they don't have skills too. They can't do it practically. They're relying on exploiting black people. And when they want payment, they murder them and feed them to pigs, which is something that Donald Trump doesn't want to hear. Elon Musk doesn't want to hear. They keep ignoring this issue because it suits them. Where they are, it suits them. They are comfortable, it suits them. But who is the victim here? Black people. Black South Africans continue to be landless, continue to be poor. The only solution to this poverty that is flourishing is when black people get the land, get their fair share. As long as we have got EFF, as long as we have got Julius Malema, Andile Mngxitama, and all other guys, including Ramaphosa, if he's not bluffing, let him do it. We would appreciate for him to do it. It will show some sign of, a relief, to us, because honestly, we are not happy. I mean, to be landless, and we continue to be poor, to be stagnant, to be pegged there in the squatter camps. We don't like it. But if we have politicians who are committed, who wants to resolve this issue, they better do it now, because the longer it takes, the more people now will revolutionize. And now, when the revolution comes now, it's not going to be nice. It's going to be the Zimbabwe situation, which we don't want anyway. We want to do it peaceful. So for us to be able to achieve this goal, we need assistance from the government, that they must push. Cyril Ramaphosa now must be strong and show us that he's bold and push for this. He shouldn't back down. If he backs down, no vote. 2029, ANC will be sitting at 15%. Thank you, squatters. I'll hear your comments, but the land issue is one of the most sensitive and heated topic that needs to be resolved as a matter of urgency. Sharp squatters.